Hi, good morning. I was given this brief to have 4 slides, a very simple slide, but I just go through all the speakers and presenter. I think my one is too simple already. I will elaborate a bit more. Okay, from start. Okay, can I back to the first slide? Thank you. Penang Global Tourism is the marketing arm. We are the tourism, we are the State Tourism Bureau. So basically, we do the advertising and promotion for Penang states. Okay, so the next slide is about, next please. What makes Penang Island a world city today? We think about it, the people, the place, the culture, blah, blah, blah. But actually, if you simplify, it's just about the verses or the yin and yang. It's like in Penang, if you are a tourist, when you arrive at the airport, when you drive through, you see all these buildings, manufactured buildings. But you arrive at the city where you see a heritage area. You have the high tech and the cultural at the same time. You have the east and the west meeting at the same time. You have the modern and the old. When you go for food, if you walk around the cities, you can have a teh tarik and you can also have a cup of latte at the same street. So I think that's make Penang very, very unique compared to the rest of the city. And the other thing is about, Penang is also what we call a melting pot, or in the local context, we call it rojak or ice kacang. You're just putting all these ingredients that you can't imagine that how they taste, but when you put together, and it just blend nicely. So that's how Penang is, and how that's make Penang very unique. You have everyone that comes here, they will find their own space, and they will have their own position in Penang. So I think that's what makes Penang very unique. Next slide. What required to make Penang Island a world city of tomorrow? I think there's 3 key things. First is the balance. The balance that we're talking about is like how you're going to balance the 2 things that we have, like the yin and yang, all these components, like the traditional trade and the bonded business, how we're going to balance it. You have the local and the tourists, how we're going to have the balance that live in the same space. Second point, the space. As a trend of the city nowadays, space is getting less and less, and it's getting more and more important. But how are we going to maintain it, and how are we going to manage it? Like a space for people to interact. The space, for tourism point of view, interaction is very important. Without the interaction, you just come here, just take picture. It's soulless. So the interaction play a very important role, and space is the key element. And the third, that's what makes Penang very, very unique, is the people. You can have the same buildings in other cities. We share the colonial style buildings, same as Singapore, Hong Kong, and other like Malacca. But what makes the identity of Penang, or the DNA of Penang, is actually the people. The people here that is one to make Penang different with the rest. Okay, so that's the 3 key things. And next slide is the role of PGT. The role of PGT, I think we work like a bridge to connect to people, which is the tourists, the outsider, how they think about Penang. My personal point of view, traveling nowadays or tourism nowadays is very different with 20 years ago, where you just stand in front of iconic buildings and then just take a picture, that's it. Nowadays it's experiential. It's involve all your senses. You go there, you taste the food, you talk to the people, you go to, for example, Little India, you smell the spices. So it involves all your senses. And then we want people to travel like a local. That's what make you feel all your experience is unique from people to people. And then also when you go back, then you will share your experience or story. People like sharing and telling story. And that's what one of the reasons like Facebook becomes so popular nowadays. So PGT works as a bridge to connect here to the outside world or to the tourists, so to speak. And then the other things that we want to say is also because some of the things that local, we don't appreciate it. because we take for granted, because we just see it every day. It's just like a very normal thing. But a tourist come here and then, you know, with their background, and you know, they will tell us there's something that we take for granted that's very normal to us, actually is very unique to them. So, you know, sometimes it's the other way around. It's like people telling us like how to appreciate things that we ignore or we're taking for granted. And then I think that will actually make us start to appreciate more. I think this building is one of example. You know, like 20 years ago, you know, people would want to tear down this building, build a very modernism, minimalism kind of design buildings. But now, because of the tourists coming here and telling you, hey, this is very nice and cool buildings, and then the locals start to have this question in their mind, and then they start to appreciate what we have here. I think that's all for me. Thank you very much.
If there's no feedback, may I?
Sure.
We know that you went very direct to the question at Q&A. Sorry we asked you for the 4 slides. If you'd like to, just from your point of view, your personal point of view, after knowing who is in the room, who are the friends that we have brought over, do you have something to share? Do you have some request, some wish that you want to find a way to interface with them?
I think it's for me, I've been just going through some of the speakers and things. I think the very interesting and also very challenging is always like how to find the balance, because you know, like how to add value or stories to, for example, Georgetown area. How to certain sites, how we're going to give new life to it and give new interpretation to it. And then, of course, sometimes when we have a vision how we want to do this, but the thing is, but we also need to take into the consideration about the local context, the local people that's living there. You know, we might have an ideal life how the thing should be for them, but the thing is that they've been spending their whole life there, and then suddenly we want them to just change their lifestyle. It's impossible, but it's more like how to blend together, inject the new value and the into their life, and actually, then they can see like how things can be changed or improved with all this new value, so-called. Yeah, I think that's it. Because yeah, and the other thing is that to be honest, from a agency of tourism is very hard for us to position Penang. You know, like we try to give a face to Penang. Is it heritage? Is it culture? Is it nature? But at the end of the day, we think like, no, Penang just have it all. No, we are melting pot. We just like ice kacang or rojak. So yeah, I think we just need to find things that very unique and just try to own it. You know, why then be proud of it? Why want to be someone that we are not, or try to be someone else? You know, I think we should just focus on the value that we have and just enhance it or bring it to the next level. That's my point of view. Thank you.